Alrighty, and welcome back. We have another Nexus Gaming Series matchup on our hand. I am Bahamut, your caster. Welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. On the left-hand side, we have 2+2, and on the right, we have Team Sinix. Now, this is a Division A semifinal game here. I believe we're going into the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, next week. Same week as BlizzCon. I'm just excited. I'm really excited about BlizzCon. But either way, let's get into this matchup. Division A, so this is basically the top tier of NGS. So let's see what we're going to be getting on Sky Temple here. I really like this map. It's honestly, I don't see it too often in rotation, especially with a lot of these teams. We really don't see them pick it up too often here. So this is exciting. At least in, you know, I cast a lot of the Division Bs, so I don't often see the Sky Temple, but either way, I'm so excited about this. Like, it's a good map, and so overall, some of the things that we can see as a priority are going to be the global aspects. So like Dahaka here, I would honestly think that he'd be considered by either team. Mostly because I just think it's a high priority. And the other thing that we have to consider here is just a lot of compositions that work well in the team fight on the shrines, because there are going to be a lot of situations where they're going to need to stay on those for quite some time. But they're going to go ahead on the side of Team Sinix and take out that Tassadar. They do not want to deal with the combinations that he can really be thrown into. So smart ban, and at the same time it looks like they're going to go ahead and ban out Malthael on the side of 2+2. Not a bad ban at all. Works in the solo lane. He does work in these compositions where we often see double tanks. So that's a good choice. I like that. That's really good bans out of both teams here. Now, first pick on the side of Team Sinix. What are we going to be seeing? Do we get that Dahaka, or are we going to see something a little bit different? Maybe something they want to start out their composition with. Sometimes we see healers here in the priority, but honestly, it's just that threat is there, the lane push. I mean, he can just be all over the place, so we'll see. I'm not sure. What do you take here? Not casting any of these teams, I really can't talk to a lot of the things that they'd be going into. Greymane's not a bad idea at all. Strong in the solo lane, strong in the 4-man. Really strong on points like this where you do have to fight over them. And just kind of coming out of the gate, Greymane works really well. I mean, he's just kind of strong suited in these fights. He has a decent variety when it comes to some of the talents into his later half of the build. Typically, we just see the Gilneas cocktail, you know, 1 through 7, and then sometimes a little bit of a variation on that. And right out of the gate, we're going to go with an old little combination here from 2+2, Malfurion and Stitches. It's not often you see that. There's mostly, not that Malfurion's bad or anything, he's just really fallen off, especially with a lot of the newer healers that are kind of coming in, and they're a little bit better, by a lot actually. But I wouldn't be too surprised to see something like a Kael'thas, you know, comboed into the composition of 2+2, because the mana reduction from Malfurion is very strong, as well as the roots that are underneath the hooks, and as long as they can land those hooks, they've got a really good setup for on the side of 2+2. But before we go into the ban phase here, Team Sinix is going to pick up 2 more heroes. Now, realistically, I think they're probably going to be landing on a tank healer, mostly because of the fact that it's just, it's strong. Before you go into this ban phase, it really is hard to kind of target some of the heroes down. You may mostly go for maybe player-specific or map-specific bans at that point, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see something like an ETC. Okay, I was actually gonna say Stukov over the Uther though. ETC, he can be a global if he needs to. That is not the only reason to pick him. Just overall, he's just a strong tank. He's just a big beefy boy, literally. So, and then combo that with the Uther. I mean, it's just, this is kind of a tried and true combination, and it's really strong. D-shield onto Greymane, D-shield onto ETC for the Mosh that we're probably going to be seeing, and go for the throat maybe for Greymane. Really depends if they go for a secondary tank on the side of 2+2. Now, we'll catch up with the bans here. Genji, not a bad idea at all. A lot of mobility on that hero, a lot of good that he can do with those resets as well. So realistically, it's a strong ban. It's something that might be targeted specifically towards Team Sinix, and as well as just on this map, he works just very well. He can rotate very quickly between the lanes because he can skip over a lot of that terrain that would slow you down. Team Sinix, though, looking at the draft of 2+2, you can maybe choke the solo lane, you can maybe choke some damage here, so something like a Lunara wouldn't be bad, or maybe you just focus on the mage and ban out the Kael'thas. No, they go for the Cho ban. Either a throwaway or they actually think that it's a little bit of a threat here. Stitch is really not too popular, as well as Malfurion. We often don't see this because Malfurion doesn't have a crazy amount of value with the Cho'Gall, seeing as how he really doesn't need to worry about any sort of mana. But either way, they chose to ban it out. So in this 3-4 slot on the side of 2+2, I'm not convinced that they're going to solo heal it with the Malfurion, but I'm at the same time like unsure about this solo tank Stitches. I mean, he can work, but I'm just a little bit afraid by it. And it's just, I feel like there's just better, there's stronger options. Either way, I'd like to see a Kael'thas here. It would work with their combination. What else are they going to run on top of that, though? They're going to need a solo laner. They could just go into that Dahaka for the global. They go for the Arthas, and there's Kael'thas. Okay. So they're going to go for the second tank. But the only thing... I worry a little bit about this Arthas because of the fact that Greymane does have the option to go into that Cursed Bullet. Might be something they need to worry about. Holy cow time. Yes. Also, welcome to the Twitch chat. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for coming by. But these last two pickups on the side of Team Sinix. Solo lane, who are you going to put up there? I don't think you're going to just put the Greymane. They could go into a Falstead here, which wouldn't be too bad. Would give them some good range. And then maybe... I mean, Zul's an option, actually. That would kind of work. Abathur is a threat. He does play well on this map. Now, I don't... No, he can work with that composition. I'm just curious if they put the Greymane in the solo lane or not.
I'm not checking it.
Ooh, so it's going to be solo lane Ragnaros and with a side support of Ana. Interesting. Doing that HTC Void 1 weekend at a time. Well, I'm glad you chose my stream to do that exactly. And we're going to see a Falstead out of 2+2 here. Yeah, no, trust me. I am too excited for the 26th when those games start. Definitely looking forward to that. Either way, welcome to the stream, and let's get into game number 1 here. 2+2 versus Team Sinix. Alrighty, and on the left side, we're gonna have 2+2 with McNulty on Arthas, Hollis on Stitches, Axon on Kael'thas, Skygasm on the Falstead, and Redder on Malfurion. On the right-hand side, we're going to have Team Sinix with Caleb Reese on ETC, Venero on Ragnaros, Sargeras on Ana, Treebeard on Uther, and Valimar on Greymane. So as we go into this first matchup here, let's go ahead and just take a peek at some of these first level talents. Let's talk a little bit about the laning matchups here. So Ragnaros picked up not crazy popular of a hero we see. Oftentimes, you know, for the solo lane, we don't see him. Now granted, they could still put the Greymane in the solo lane. That's still viable. But at the same time, that's how I would see it personally.
10 seconds.
And you know, I would talk bad about the Ragnaros, but the track record of Team Sinix is just way too high for me to kind of really say anything. Looks like they're actually posturing in that bottom lane on the side of 2+2 for a potential cheese onto one of the towers here. Do we see it happening is the big question. McNulty going to be rotating with the rest of the team here. Going to be postured up in a good position to kind of scout out any rotation. Looks like they're going to go ahead and cheese this out. Now, the big question is how they're going to respond to it on the side of Team Sinix. It looks like they're going to go ahead. McNulty's going to body out a little bit to pull some of the attention. Looks like they're going to focus on just trying to burn him down. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is going to go ahead and pull away Caleb Reese from his friendly team here. And with that, they're just going to disengage, and they're going to go ahead and go in just to their laning matchups here. Ragnaros getting a little bit of a start here. They're going to miss a wave on the side. Actually, I lied. They maybe even missed just a minion. McNulty here going to take a little bit of damage as we have Caleb Reese currently sliding in. Valimar going to dive in on that Grey main. Unfortunately, not going to be able to yield a kill. Now, in bottom lane, we've had quite a bit of pressure from this 3-man down here, just really starting to open this up. They've already got a gate here, and it's really... I didn't really talk about this in draft too much, but Ana, like, I just don't know how I feel about here. Actually rotating Valimar into this bottom lane so that they can just make sure they get a little bit of pushback here. Now, we do currently have the Shrine starting up, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and just bounce right back. ETC is going to go right into that middle lane. Currently a Skygasm going up against Varino. And it looks like they're just going to play safe here. Nothing too crazy. We currently have McNulty getting the vision over, so it looks like they're probably going to be posturing up onto this point quite soon. Now, we still have a 3-man in this bottom lane going back and forth. Treebeard taking a little bit of damage. The Sleepy Dark going to go out from Sargeras, and they're just going to disengage here. Now, we do have a tank fight here between McNulty and Caleb Reese. Just non-stop action across the map. We do have a rotation from the team of... Team Sinix is going to be rotating up. And looks like they're going to be able to go ahead, get a pull here. And looks like it's not going to be yielding them a kill. Now, they have gotten a little bit of value out of that top on the side of Team Sinix. And it looks like they're posturing up a little bit for a pick here onto Skygasm. Fortunately, it's just Treebeard with the stun. And they're going to go ahead and just jump onto this Shrine and start to burn this down. And at the same time, they're going to open up this gate, trying to get a little bit of double value. Also chasing down Skygasm. Ugh, trying just to get that kill. But at this point, they're going to go ahead on the side of 2+2, put a couple members back into that bottom lane, spread out for the soaking, and looks like Hollis will be doing the same. And honestly, they've kept a little bit of an experience gap on the side of 2+2 this entire time. Now, they're slowly starting to, well, actually, very quickly starting to catch up on the side of Team Sinix, and it's this very early game where, you know, these early game towers are not going to give a ton of experience, but at the same time, they're still going to be, just opening up the map this early is going to be very beneficial for the team, especially in this bottom lane where they've really prioritized. When the next altar, or the next shrine comes up, which should be about near 5 minutes, actually a little bit short of that. Either way, it's going to just be a little bit harder for Team Sinix to kind of stay in that bottom and fight because they're not going to have the well. They have a little bit less space to retreat on. And so these are a lot of things that 2+2 are doing at the start of this game very well. Now, at the same time, they're playing their lanes very smart on the side of Team Sinix. They're not laning out too far. They're making sure they're letting the experience come to them. And realistically, I mean, both teams are doing this. You see Falstead has the Lonely Tower without shots, and he's just going to be stacking off of that. At the same time, it looks like we're going to have this top camp picked up, which they're going to try and probably time out with the Shrine that should be popping up soon. But while they're doing all this, they are a little bit down. They're going to get their 7s behind 2+2, but at the same time, it's not going to be that big of a deal, mostly because of the fact that it's going to be right there. The Shrine's not up, so they're not going to really need to worry about this. We do have a few of the members coming down into this. A little bit of a flank here from Treebeard. Hollis going to be able to get out of there, but we do have McNulty diving in. At this point with full health, Skygasm going to be flying in. Going to go ahead and help steal this camp away, and it looks like they pull every asset to this bottom lane, but at the same time, this is a little worrisome because they went ahead and this top lane, it's just getting pushed in. They rotated Skygasm down here for that. And so, yes, they did get the fort here, so they've traded out the top for the bottom on either side. But at the same time, Falstead has no flight. He currently had to hearth back to go into that top lane. So this is, on the side of 2+2, yes, they stole over the camp and they got a fort, but I don't know if it was 100% worth it. We do have a power slide in onto Hollis here from Caleb Reese. There is the Kael'thas trying to get a little bit of value there, but just trying to disrupt a little bit of the fight. Overall, it looks though like Team Sinix is going to go ahead and take this Shrine. They're not going to be able to rotate Falstead in time. They're going to have Arthas currently still working on this camp. So overall, it's a little bit of a slow rotation from 2+2, but we'll see how this plays out. They could pull some of the members in later, or because it looks like they're not giving up in the bottom lane at least. They still have 3 members dedicated to that. Actually, do we have the Arthas just going into mid soaking? this is just a really late rotation. They currently have him coming in. Falstad does have flight at this point. They do get the hook onto Treebeard here. There is no follow-up route. We currently have sleep onto McNulty. Now Caleb Reese can try and get a couple last shots off of there, trying to get the last little bit of conversion. Looks like it will be stolen over by Skygasm. But do they end up losing over? No, they'll just be, I keep saying Skygasm, Skygam. So I apologize. This is my horrible reading. But Treebeard is going to go ahead and get stunned out here. Looks like he will be locked down quite a bit, and they're not able to get the kill. Caleb Reese going to be able to power slide away. We actually will be losing Skybeard there. I'm just combining names. I apologize. Skygam is going to go ahead and get the kill onto Treebeard there. Do you have Caleb Reese currently rotating up into this mid to go ahead and just get some of the soak? And meanwhile, in this top, the camp was picked up, and this was the delay to the shrine, but at the same time, it hasn't even made to the gate yet. They just started pulling shots out of the towers, and Ragnaros is already up here. They're going to go ahead and get the clear. People already correcting me in chat. I haven't looked over till literally just now. I'm like, I'm adding in letters, so apologize for that. But either way, 10s are going to be achieved for 2+2, and it looks like they're going to try and take advantage of that while they have it. Ragnaros being in that top lane, looks like they're going to go ahead and try and steal away this mid fort, and it doesn't look like Team Sinix can do too much here. There is the stun on to McNulty. I should not say so early. McNulty going to be falling here, and that is going to be... Ooh, actually, we have a stage dive in. It's not going to be connecting onto the enemy members, but we currently have the Gus out from Skygam. Let me just keep saying it so I get it right. That will get the disengage, so they're going to be able to save their Malfurion, and he will be able to make it out of there. Not a problem. Now the question is, do they make a ballsy boss play here? They're currently in the bush. It looks like they will start the siege camp here. Now, we do have McNulty coming back from death, and it looks like the rest of the team will just go ahead and back off. They really don't want to fight, and honestly, they don't see most of the members. Either way, though, it looks like both of these siege camps will be picked up.
Grows within the temples. Soon they shall pass.
And we do have another altar phase at this point. So this is going to be 3 members of 2+2 currently in the bottom lane. We actually have a few of the members, actually all of Team Sinix currently rotating here onto Hollis. He's going to be taking quite a bit of damage. Actually, he's getting healed up just fine, but the question is, will the body blocking from Caleb Reese be too much? Now, that was the curse bolt going to be going out. That is the self-air smash onto him as well. That is going to be the silence from Malfurion, but it's not going to be in time. They do get the kill. Looks like they will be getting the healing and making the disengage and able to get out. Do they get the kill onto Malfurion as well? The D-shield did go on to Ragnaros. Not able to get any sort of secondary kills here. Just that one Stitches. That's it. Meanwhile, though, I do want to note we have had Skygam going ahead and jumping on this top point. It looks like they're going to go ahead and have the rest of, majority of Team Sinix jumping onto this point down here. So they will trade these out. Caleb Reese going to go ahead and chase off Skygam, but it looks like McNulty's going to be riding in here. They won't get the freeze. He looks like he will get the power slide out, and it's just going to be A-okay for Caleb Reese. Just going to get a little bit of poke here. Now, at the same time, they are rotating quite a few members up here. Do have a disengage at this point, and looks like we're just going to be fine. No big deal. And currently have Falstad just in that top lane soaking up a little bit more, making sure that wave gets pushed in consistently, and we're actually going to have a little bit of a... Oh, they're going to go jump onto the camp. I thought they were going to maybe go for a flank onto him. Looks like it won't be happening. McNulty will going ahead and finishing up this top shrine. Looks like we're going to have... I'm so bad at names tonight. My mouth is just... does not want to work. Venero.
From my temple.
He's going to go ahead and Hearth back as well, getting that bottom lane pushed out. Now, they are currently posturing around this boss, waiting for a few of the members. Do they get the pick onto Treebeard? Going to get gorged here. Getting pulled away from his team. Valimar going to be kind of scouting at us as well. There was the root, but it looks like it did not go in time. The sleep did go out. The gust into a few of the members. The stun on from the boss. Caleb Reese is going to go ahead and dive in here as well. You have a few of the members falling extremely low at this time. We actually have the Malfurion dying here. We also have Hollis falling as well. Sargeras could potentially fall. That is going to be Ana falling there as well. So it looks like we're going to have a 2-for-2 trade here. McNulty still around a few of these members. Looks like they are going to be getting a little bit of a chase. There's a huge amount of damage going out onto Ragnaros. McNulty trying to finish him off. Some Fear Smash will go out and get the kill onto Arthas. That will be... Actually, excuse me, Caleb Reese going to be dying, but also Skygam going to be falling. And just an absolute bloodbath over this boss that wasn't even picked up. What a phenomenal back and forth between these two teams. And at this point, we're going to have this top camp that was picked up quite a bit ago, honestly. Just reaching the keep front gate. It's going to pull a few shots out, but it looks like it won't get too much damage. Maybe a little bit onto one fort. Nothing crazy here. Overall, we are going to be also having Kael'thas finishing that level 1 talent just now, as well as just pushing back this mid, or excuse me, that bottom lane to middle. Now we do in mid actually have quite a push coming out here. I gotta stop looking over at Twitch chat because I just saw Skybeard Kappa and I was just like, I don't know, my mouth was just like, yeah, start reading that mid-sentence. But either way, we actually have this siege camp going to be picked up as well. We do have Hollis just trying to get a little bit of damage out, as well as just the dismount with that slam. And I just, every single time I'm like, do they go for the ballsy boss call? Is it there? Looks like they're going to go ahead and pick up the secondary siege camp, stack that on top, and it looks like at the same time, 2+2 is going to go ahead, start to push out their lanes. I would expect them to kind of play safe here. This is starting to get to the later half of the game. This map really can start to just, I hate the term, but it really does become a snowball map. Like, every map is that way. Once you get a little bit of, you know, because a lot of teams do work really well underneath that momentum-based winning. And so, if you get a little bit of, you get a wipe here, you can take boss, you can get that bottom lane push. We currently don't have a dive in from Caleb Reese. There is the double stun from Kael'thas. There is a silence as well. The D-shield does come out. Falstad will be flying in at this point. Caleb Reese is going to be falling first here. We do have this Sulfurous Mesh coming out from the Ragnaros. The hook does go out, but it does not connect. We currently only have the ETC dying, and that's also going to be Ana dying as well. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and steal this over and not lose a single member on the side of 2+2. Now, the thing they need to consider here is this bottom lane. They need to get Falstad back down there, pushing that back out. This top lane needs to be responded to by Team Sinix. And at the same time, with that last fight, we are also going to have 16s picked up on the side of 2+2. Like, they are playing out of their minds tonight. They're picking up both of these shrines. They might get a keep off of this. It really just depends how this next fight goes over. Ana is not available. ETC does not have their Treebeard actually going to be falling here. Honestly, there's no way he makes it out. Currently, Apollo's taking quite a bit of damage from that. From that Cursed Bolt. We do have a power slide in. We currently have actually Arthas falling here, so that's going to be the Phoenix coming out as well. Caleb Reese a little bit separated from his team. That slow from Hollis is going to be doing quite a bit. Now we do have Uther's Ghost falling here, so there's no more healing coming out besides a little bit from Ana. We do have a power slide into that backline, trying just to get an out here for Caleb Reese. Getting some of that healing from Sargeras. There will be follow-up damage from Kael'thas, but we also have Ragnaros falling at this point, so that is going to be just an insane back and forth. Now, we actually have a little bit of a pressure here, slow going out from Hollis, and looks like they're just going to disengage and go ahead and take this top shrine, as well as Hearthback and get a few members just healed up, get some mana, and just overall, I mean, that was just a very, very strong fight for 2+2. They really won that over, and it bought them a little bit of time. It got a little bit more damage onto the mid lane keep, and they're going to go overall and hold this top shrine and just kind of win over the lanes at this point too. I mean, realistically, mid's been pushed in quite a bit. It should kind of land in the middle soon. Falstad should be pushing this back, so it's going to be helping them out quite a bit. And overall, I mean, they're going to take this top shrine, and I believe they also took the mid one too. So just overall, I mean, into this late game, we can start to see a little bit of a gap here forming between 2+2 and Sinix. And so this is, I'm just really surprised, like, because, we had talked about the start of this, like, they're the top-notch team of Division A at this point. So at this point for 2+2 to be doing a level and a half lead, and they're kind of holding the map at this point. They've got a lot of good control on their side. I'm just a little bit caught off guard, to be honest. At this point, do we see them go for an invade onto this camp? That's the big question. Looks like they'll give it over. Hollis will get the slam for the slow and a little bit of a dismount potentially. And overall, I mean, just these guys they're waiting for the objective, honestly. It seems they're kind of stalling out in bushes. They're making sure that they're not going to get caught out on rotations and just making sure the lanes get pushed back. We're going to Falstad currently going up in that top lane. Hasn't showed in quite some time, so they do not know this on the side of Sinix. Now that he is up there, we are seeing them start to get a little bit aggressive, especially with this camp right behind him. And also going to get power slip through. First bolt's going to go out. I did not believe it connected onto anyone there. Do have the stage up going to go out. There is the ice clock. Excuse me. Falstad going to come down here. There will be the gust, but I do not believe it connected onto any of the members. Quite a bit of damage will go out onto him. He will be falling here. We do have McNulty taking quite a bit himself. And I was talking to the accolades of 2+2, but still Team Sinix, they just showed up and they were like, yeah, about that level difference. Nah, we're just gonna close that and we'll go ahead and just open up bottom lane, potentially core this. I don't think they actually have the time. They could open this up and then maybe take boss, but then they would maybe lose out on shrine. It really depends here. 30 seconds is quite some time. That is going to give them quite a bit of defense. At the same time, Ragnaros probably does have his Molten Core, so they can utilize that as a bit of defense once the team comes back. Caleb Reese a little bit low here on mana. No, they're going to start to go straight onto core, and it looks like they're going to try and end this before the members get back. Now we do have solo defender Kael'Thas, and nope, they're definitely going to get this. I don't see a way that they don't, actually. Ragnaros is going to go ahead and go into his Molten Core form. We do have Hollis currently up. Could go ahead. The D-Shield's going to be on to the Grey Mane. He should be able to burn this down. And it looks like that is going to be GG. Game number 1 going over to Team Sinix. Let's get ready for game number 2. I'm absolutely excited. Like, that back and forth in that game was phenomenal between those teams. And then just literally Sinix was just like, you know what? I think we're gonna end it here, and they just took that last fight. It was just really well played at the ends. But I mean, honestly, both teams just doing a phenomenal job of just back and forth there. I mean, I absolutely loved it. But I mean, these teams, I mean, they played absolutely out of their mind. Like I usually go, like, I stay in Division B because of just learning all the teams, and it's just stay in the area that you know. And these guys are just absolutely just. It's insane the play that you see out of them, the hyper focus, the way that the team synergizes. Not to say that the other divisions are any sort of different. It's just saying, like, the level of just fluidity between the team members at this level is just absolutely insane. So I keep wanting just to show all the talents and everything just so I can buy a little bit of time, and so at this point though, we'll go ahead and set up the next lobby here. I'm just going to pull that away really quickly. And while I do that, I can say hi to everyone in Twitch chat and catch up on it. In my infinite times, I messed up on someone's name. That was absolutely great. Let me go ahead and get the right map. Okay, we already have people. Oops. We already have people joining in here. I need to do one quick thing, and then you are all mine, Twitch chat, for the... Even though there is a delay, though, so there will be something to consider there. Let me just quickly change the score so everyone knows. Okay. Let's go ahead and do that. Studio. Cool. Go ahead and swap some of these members over. And let me just get you invited, and let me get... Okay, they're jumping in here. Huh. Okay. Honestly, like, Heatstroke dead, I have no idea why I've seen Ragnaros lately. Oh, okay. I'm reading through Twitch chat. I gotcha. Hollis and Skygasm. Thank you, Tempest Hots. Thank you for correcting me on that. Alrighty. I need to set up the lobby correctly. I'm gonna go ahead and give that over to them and that over to them. And looks like we are all set, so we're just going to get it ready from the other team, and we will get going into game number 2. Hello, and welcome to everyone in Twitch chat. I am Bahamut. I do a lot of Here's the Storm casting. Oh, thank you so much, Master Wolford. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Looks like we're going to have the ready, so I'm going to go ahead and let them know that we are going, and we will get into this. 3, 2, 1. We're going to be going into Cursed Hollow. I absolutely love this map. It's... I kind of say that I love every map, but there are some that I really don't want to ever play on. I like to cast a ton of them. Like Brax's Holdout, love to cast it. It's okay to play on for me. It's just I'm not that strong on it. I know my weaknesses. Or at least I try to. But Cursed Hollow, there's just so many options here. I mean, you've got things like anywhere from like Abathur to, I say it, all the time, Dahaka, but you've also got things that you can consider like Murky, and you can also consider the Lost Vikings. Like a lot of specialists that never get played because they're fun. But right out of the gate, we're going to go ahead and have 2+2 banning out Cassia. They do not want to deal with that on this map here. And, you know, last time we looked at a lot of the changes that she had gone through, excuse me, it's, I mean, she does decent numbers at least, but it looks like we actually have a Morales. Lieutenant Morales is going to be hovered for the ban. Now, they are potentially going away from that global that she does offer, and just overall, Stim Drone is very good. Disrupt from Grenade is very powerful. Like, Morales, in my opinion, like, I'm not a support main, but, like, I enjoy playing her at this point. So, absolutely a strong ban on the side of Team Sinix here, and a strong pickup on the side of 2+2. It's a lot like what I talked about in the last draft, where Team Sinix picked up the Gray main in the first slot. This Vala isn't a bad idea at all, mostly because of the fact that she offers good poke, she offers good team fight, she has a variable, you know, talent build. Like, she can go into, I mean, there's variations, like you can take things into Gloom, or, you know, at 16, no, that's 13, I believe. But either way, like, I'm just saying, there are a lot of different talents that you can take, and she just has a lot of versatility in her build. And we have an Anubarak Gray main. It's a pretty early Anubarak. Are they trying to... I wonder if Sinix is trying to pull out a Cho'Gall ban here. There is the possibility for it. And we did see in the last game that their Gray main was quite powerful. But either way, these last two picks before we go into the ban phase here, never mind, they're going to go for the Global, Brightwing, and Joanna, who, honestly, she's in a pretty decent spot, but I'm really surprised that there wasn't a priority on the ETC or Garrosh here. Displacement, really strong. Oh my god. Release Rag. Release Rag was such good times. Such fun and good times. Looks like they're going to go ahead and ban out the Rhaegar here. I feel like these are just throwaway bans at this point, because I honestly don't think they'd go into a second support here. I think the Brightwing would be just enough, especially with, well, no, the Vala, as long as the Vala plays safe, I think they should be fine. I wouldn't, I'm just not sure. I don't know if the support choke is necessary on the side of Sinix. They're going to go ahead and ban out that Uther, though. They do not want to deal with that once again, especially with the D-Shield on that Gray main, as they saw. I mean, it was just really powerful as they went into that game. So, let's see here. There is a possibility for a Cho'Gall. I don't think it's going to happen, but you really never know. The Anubarak, like, it's one of those, like, old signs, like, Greymane, he works with it, like, please do it. Like, it's what I want, but I don't know if it's something that I'll actually get. It's just, like, you know, it's so odd to see Anubarak picked in the 1-2, Anubarak with the Greymane in the 1-2 slot. Like, Greymane, yeah, like, you can do that all the time, but... like, no, it's Chroma Lucy, okay. I was like, in my head, I was like, yeah, you can force this, like, you can force the dream. But Chromie is a phenomenal pickup with the Lucio. Just Lucio making good, you know, he's just very good in every circumstance, you know, for the engage, for the disengage, for the chase, you know, just very, very powerful. And then you have Chromie for just the eternal delay, which she has all the time in the world for. And she's just dunking sand on you the entire time. Now, they still need to pick up a solo laner, so they realistically, on the side of 2+2, they need to pick up something that's a little bit versatile for this map as well as just strong. Personally, I keep hounding on it, and I don't know why, but I personally think that the Dahaka should be a priority right here. And then you maybe... what do you go into on top of that? You could go for some lane push at that point, realistically. Like, Nazeebo works for poke as well here. We've seen him be strong. Zarya's not bad at all for poke. And an Abathur. I'm a little bit afraid, though, for the Abathur against Akromi because she can have that scouting over the wall and just, you know, if she does get a combo onto him, I believe it should 100-0 him. Either way, though, they do need a solo laner on the side of Team Sinix here. They could solo lane with the Greymane if they really wanted. But overall, I think they just might need a little bit more. They don't really have any sort of global response. I personally, I keep saying it, but I honestly think it's the Dahaka at this point. Or you just go for some global response. You could also go for a Falstead in this position too and just solo tank on the Anubrak. It is a viable choice. I'm just not sure. I can't really talk much to this draft. Okay. They go for the global response. Okay. It's not bad. Because it's the one thing is like, you can leave your Brightwing in top lane for ages and then just have her literally phase shift in when needed. So it's just, yeah, it's overall, it's a not a bad idea. And realistically, if, you know, whenever the curse is up, you're going to have split pushing from the Abathur too. So it's something you're going to have to worry about. And I really like the draft of 2+2, but the execution from Team Sinix in that first game was really powerful. Either way, let's go to game number 2 and find out who the victor shall be. And on the left, we are going to have 2+2 with Exxon on the Abathur, Redder on the Brightwing, McNulty on Zarya, Skygam on Vala, and Hollis on the Joanna. Now on the right-hand side, we're going to have Team Sinix with Venero on the Falstead, Sargeras on the Lucio, Treebeard on Chromie, Valimar on Greymane, and Caleb Reese on the Anubrak. And yes, Dahaka Ariel, I 100% agree. But either way, they're going to be picking up some different heroes with some different talents. Try and get a little bit of water before this game starts because I know I won't get any more. We are having Brightwing going into the Z build here. Looks like Greymane will go into that Gilneas cocktail. Matchup-wise, though, this is going to be interesting because I'm curious to see how Abathur is going to be doing now. It looks like we already have the positioning on the side of...
3, 2, 1. Let the battle begin.
So this is, I'm just like humming because they're going for the cheese again. And I was just like, but how are they going to get into the top lane? Do they go ahead and have oh, see, they get the scout right away, and it looks like they try and cheese themselves. Nope. Well, Caleb Reese can go ahead and burrow in, and it looks like we're gonna have just a cheese here. And bottom lane, excuse me, just in top lane, bottom's gonna get a little bit of damage. Skygam gonna be taking quite a bit of damage from that Chromie, but Hollis gonna body quite a lot of it. And it looks like we just have a race between the lanes. Abathur gonna put out a little bit of poke damage. Valimar gonna take a little bit here, but gonna be yielded by Lucio without a problem. And realistically, do we just have a race? Is this just a race between bottom and top? Like, we're just gonna ignore team and wait for the next minute, excuse me, 2 minutes while they just body the lanes? God, this is like the finals I cast in person. Oh my god. Don't just let this be like a bottom lane only rush kind of weird. But it looks like they're going to do exactly that. They're going to go ahead. They burn through bottom first. Top's going to get dismantled here quite quickly. The shielding from Abathur are going to slow them down a little bit. Valimar taking quite a bit of damage just overall. It looks like they're moving up the bottom lane. What is happening? What are they doing? Looks like we are going to have the entire team from that top lane currently backing. And this is really good because it looks like that was probably the intent. They pulled their team. So the one thing I was going to say, like, nope, they're still pushing. Jesus. All right. Well, we're minute 32, and they went ahead and got a fort and a keep like a keep tower. We actually have a turnaround into this fight. We currently have Caleb Reese diving in quite far, and they turned around as he dove. So he is quite far behind the team. We do have Hollis doing some very good body blocking. There is the flight in from Falstead. He's going to barrel roll away. McNulty very low himself, going to get some shielding. Do have quite a bit of damage, though, coming out from Treebeard, but low on mana. And what is this game we are even watching currently? This 4-man is currently pushing up this bottom so hard. I haven't seen play like this since, like, I've talked to people about this, like, this reminds me of, like late 2015, I think, like, early 2016? No, like 14, 15 maybe, of just, like, Korea, where, like, just, like, matches just bodied in 5 minutes. Like, absolutely insane. And to open it up this much this early is absolutely insane to me. Like, 2+2... I'm literally like at a loss for words. They're just completely dismantling this map, and they've opened up so much before the first curse here, and we currently have, they can fight over this, and Abathur can just sneak onto it if they really want. Now they just need to keep the other members alive. We do have the Vala taking quite a bit of damage here. We do have a pull in from Hollis. Treebeard going to be taking, actually we do have a Nubrek dying there, so we currently have, that was a oh my god, that entire time. And so that's going to be 2+2 winning over the 2 fights so far. They're going to go ahead and pick up objective. They're going to be on the verge of 7s already, 3 minutes into this game. And we currently have a pause, so we're going to go ahead and hide this. And it looks like we have a little bit, one of the members is having some issues here, so we're going to go ahead and have a quick little pause here. But, hey, thanks for swinging by. I really appreciate it. Just reading the in-game chat here. The back and forth between these teams. But I am Bahamut, your caster this evening. Thanks for swinging by. I really, really appreciate it. We're currently in a little bit of a pause here between 2+2 versus Team Sinix, so I can at least just kind of peek over here. Ooh, stream is a little bit behind, so we'll be I'll be able to kind of peek over every so often, because like they're just getting to that keep gate. Wow, absolutely insane start to this game. But it looks like, so the first curse point will be picked up by 2+2 here, and Sinix is just, they've kept Sinix on their back foot this entire time. Now, Abathur getting a lot of split soaking at this point. Let's just go ahead and take a peek at some of these numbers here, and just overall, excuse me, just 3,000, just doubling. I mean, just the soak that he's getting is really, really good. The delay that he actually had in top lane was really, really powerful, that he kind of delayed that 3-man from going ahead and picking off that fort way too quickly. So it was a really, really good start. And we actually have Abathur going ahead and going into sort of like a hat build, you know, definitely focusing on sort of the speed boost, as well as just a lot of, you know, just the damage out of Vala into the late game is going to be absolutely terrifying, because they're also going into that Hungering Arrow build. So that's definitely something that, you know, I'd be really worried about on the side of Team Sinix here as this game kind of progresses a little bit. Looks like we're going to go ahead, and I'm just kind of peeking over it. So it looks like we are just kind of caught up. Currently just going to be welcoming everyone into chat here. But overall, thanks for swinging by. If you are enjoying the stream, please hit that follow button. It means the absolute world to me. I'm casting all the time. Like, if I'm not casting on this channel, it's probably because I am going to be somewhere else, you know, co-casting or something. And it's exactly that. Tomorrow I'll be co-casting. If you are interested, go ahead and I'll be tweeting out my schedule tomorrow, so I can give the link to where I'll be streaming. Fnatic on Brax. No, Heat Stroke, there was actually, I casted another like amateur league where they literally, for like the semifinals, both teams agreed just to do like throwaway matches and just like kind of have fun with it. So like they did, one game was reverse draft. Like both the teams were just like, oh, who like ever gets in. Like we're both disbanding, I think, or something. Either way, so it was just so funny because it threw me so off. And like second game, I was just like really skeptical in draft, and they literally drafted all healers on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and it went forever. And then last game, they drafted all specialists, and they did Braxis Holdout exactly, where it was specialists only, and then, you know, red team went top, blue team went bottom. And the thing is, though, that won it was, in my opinion at least, the Azmodan and, gosh dang it, Medivh that they picked up. They had those two heroes, and I think like Sylvanas was banned out right away, so no one got that. But either way, we're currently sitting in a little bit of a lag F situation. We, oh, actually, never mind. We have one ready. Okay. All right, let me go ahead and swap this back over so we can go ahead and see the wonderful game. And go ahead and unpause that, and let's get back into this game. Now we do have that first curse point being picked up by 2+2 here, so that's really, really powerful for them. Now, at the same time, it looks like we do have Valimar and Sigiris going ahead and scouting out this top. Looks like the rest of the team will probably know that they're coming here. Actually, Abathur getting killed in that bottom lane too, the Falstead. They're still kind of keeping this leash. Are they going to be taking the fight? They don't have an Abathur. They don't have any sort of hat. Now, they do have 7 advantage, though, here, but McNulty taking so much damage, they will be losing the Zarya very early in this fight. Hollis taking quite a bit himself. There is the burrow in from Caleb Reese. Looks like they will get the kill onto Joanna as well here. Looks like Rayar will be trying to zoom out of here, but that is going to be the Fairy Dragon dying, and that is going to be the next curse point, or excuse me, tribute point spawning here in this top left position. And with that, Team Sinix is going to go ahead and just clear out this this boss. They also go ahead and put Sargeras onto this. Do they get the delay in time? There is actually the vault forward from Vala getting quite a bit of damage out there, and you can just see that was with 30 of the stacks. So, and just, oh my god. So as this game progresses, it's going to be quite insane damage that's going to be coming out of Sky Game here. Now, the rest of the team currently, we do have Abathur in that bottom lane going up against the Falstad, who's just literally just, they're staying within range of each other. And I absolutely love it. Currently in the top lane, we do have the rest of 2+2 clearing out this boss. Looks like they're going to go ahead and rotate onto the enemy team. They probably, I would assume they would know about this, but at the same time, really there isn't much they can do. The rotation's way too long. Though at the same time, Charisma should be bottom, I believe, next, because it was top, middle, top, left, so it should be bottom right. So it's pretty good positioning on the side of Team Sinix here to kind of just, if they planned ahead for this, that was just really, really smart, because the fact that it puts them in the right lane for it, puts them in the right spot for it, and it really just kind of holds this over. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and just steal this away, and nope. So this will be the first one just going over to Team Sinix. I thought McNulty was potentially going for a little bit of poke there, but we currently have Brightwing just pushing up that top lane, making sure the side soak is still going on. Do have a little bit of a grouping up into this mid lane. Looks like they're going to try and open this up. They do get the scouting onto the Abathur here from the Chromie. At the same time, we do have Zarya currently burning down this camp. Trying to burn down this camp. The rest of the team will rotate in just to help just get that. And it looks like we actually have a little bit of a chase here from Falstead. Gonna go ahead. Just gonna go ahead and stack up on that lane a little bit more, and it's not gonna be anything too crazy. Looks like we do have quite a big combo going to be going out on Skygam. Looks like he will be getting chased by Lucy at this point. Going to try and turn around, actually. Going to be getting killed. Brightwing going to be falling, I believe, in top lane there as well. Looks like they're going to be losing just 2 of the members. And at this point, I wouldn't be too surprised just to see this go over to Team Sinix. Now, at the same time, we do have McNulty currently clearing up this top lane. Abathur trying to get value in this bottom lane, just trying to get the body soak as well as the hat soak. I would assume that's going to be in the top lane. Either way, just making sure that he can just get the team closer to those 10s. They're going to go ahead and achieve those, and with that, now they actually have a 5th member for the fight. I do not expect okay, yeah, it's Ultimate Evolution. I was like, there's no way they go Evolve Monstrosity, but hey, here's the thing. I said that earlier in my match, and our Abathur went Monstrosity. So, either way, we currently just have the siege camp getting picked up on the side of Team Sinix as well as 2+2. So it looks like they're going to be timing these out just about the same. And overall, it looks like we're going to be waiting for this next curse point. It should be, actually, it is predictable, but I haven't honestly paid attention to the last couple slots. I think it was like bottom middle, top right, so it should be top left, or excuse me, it's top middle. Okay. So it looks like that will be pretty good setup for 2+2. Now they do have all of the ultimates off cooldowns. Both teams actually do, so I'm curious to see how this fight is going to be taking place. Let's go ahead and pull that away from now. Let's go ahead and see this entire fight as it unfolds here. Currently have a little bit of damage going out onto Hollis. There will be the phase shift in from... There's the little bit of poke from Treebeard. I was like, where is that coming out? There's the separation onto Caleb Reese with the explosion zone. There is Exxon trying to get a bunch of value in the backline with that clone. Looks like he will be getting killed out right away, and Break It Down was used as well. McNulty going to be taking quite a bit of damage here. There is the stun out. There's also a time trap onto McNulty. Web Wrap does go out as well. Distributor from his back, just chunking out so much damage. That is going to be the Zarya falling as well as Joanna. Do we have Brightwing falling as well? Yes, and that is going to be Vala as well. So that's going to be just about a team wipe. You know, Abathur still being in the bottom lane. That's going to be Curse for Sinix, and this is going to be a really, really good spot for them because the fact that they've got a lot of pressure in these lanes and they can really start to just get a lot of snowballing in their favor. And just peeking over to Twitch chat, yes, exactly. Boss Call was a little greedy, and yes, 7, 8, 10s, boys. That is very, very true. And we currently just have this map being opened up by Team Sinix, and we do have a dive in from Caleb Reese. It looks like there will be Joanna trying to group up a few of the members here, but unfortunately no damage in that backline. They get the separation, but Caleb Reese slowing them down a little bit here. There is the Brightwing coming in, getting a little bit of vision. And at this point, I mean, they're holding over the mid lane, but top lane's been pushing in this entire time, and they're not going to get the experience, but they will get the overall push value. That will be Lucio completing his quest at the same time pretty much as Chromie. Hacks, actually, excuse me, Chromie finishing, 3 quests. I'm calling Hacks on that one. But either way, it looks like we do have her being able to throw out the extra Sandblast here, and the sieging that you're going to get from that. You don't get, you're not going to get damage onto the structures, but you're definitely going to be able to siege up against these heroes. It's going to push them back so far. Currently have quite a bit of damage going out. We do actually have Vala going to be falling there. And it looks like we have a web wrap going out as well. We currently have that being burned down by McNulty, but he will be falling. There is the Break It Down used as well as the Emerald Wind, but unfortunately at this point, Team Sinix, they've got momentum and they're going to keep using it. And to be honest, I don't expect a core rush here. Okay, for a second, I was like, I don't expect it, but I said that last game. Overall, I mean, they're very close to 13s on the side of 2+2. It's not a huge buff, but at the same time, they go ahead and they get this camp, which will just create a little bit of pressure. They really want to set themselves up to make sure they deny the potential next curse, because that could really start to give a lot of good experience in the favor of 2+2, and that could really swing things over in their favor here. A little bit of damage going on to McNulty, but it will be shielded and just converted into a little bit of energy. We currently have Abathur just solo, pushing back that mid lane. Hollow's taking quite a bit from Tribute here, just trying to stack up. They keep going into this bush and getting hit. And it looks like they'll back off at this point. We currently have that siege camp, as noted before, but now stacking up with catapults too. Abathur going to get a little bit of value because the fact that it does have the Locust that will come out and just kind of help push back, but at the same time, this camp is going to be very powerful. Now, we do have they're just still going back and forth over this little boss position here. They really don't want to give it over, and at the same time, Brightwing is split soaking, Abathur split soaking. Now, mid is getting pushed in quite a bit, and 16s are achieved on the side of Team Sinix here, and we actually have a little bit of an engagement currently happening. We do have Caleb Reese going to be able to dive out without a problem. Shield, the Bless Shield's going to go out from the Joanna. Stun them out for a little bit here. It looks like the Brightwing will come down with the phase shift, going to provide a little bit of vision, but it looks like they just go ahead and they disengage and they say, no, we don't want this. Now, at the same time, this is really good positioning on the, Valimar going to be taking quite a bit of damage here. We do have Caleb Reese diving onto Skygam. We actually have Valimar turning around, going in for the dive. We do have the Emerald Wind shoving the enemy members away. We currently have Vala clone, but it will get the kill. So that's going to be Abathur getting the kill onto Grammy. But at the same time, do we have, yes, we have a new Breck getting the kill onto Caleb Reese. There is the Break It Down used as well. We currently have Ice Block being used by the Brightwing. Not enough damage will be here. Looks like they will be losing the Brightwing as well. To separate the Explosion Zone is used. They get the Chromie in that backline, but at the same time, they lose. Excuse me, they don't lose the Vala. I believe it was still just the clone. We do have McNulty trying to shield himself, and it looks like he will be falling here, and this looks like it's going to be a curse denied by Team Sinix, and these lanes, Hollis is going to be staggering a death here, and this is just, they're delaying it, yes, but at the same time, they just keep staggering these deaths over and over again. It's just, it's absolutely hard for them to recover back from that. Just an absolute, amazing showing coming out from Sinix. The early game, it really seemed in the favor of 2+2, but they started to get this momentum back in their favor, and they really started to turn this game around from that initial push that was onto the keep. I mean, this was the first, this was minute 32 of the game, and they were already on this on the side of 2+2, and this is the, I mean, looking at the minimap now, you would never expect that if I told you that. But either way, 6 teams are going to be close on the side of 2+2. They actually have to dive in. First of all, it does go out. There is the stun out from Vala. You have the explosion from McNulty falling extremely low here. Doesn't look like he'll be able to get out. The right wing not able to get the Emerald Wind off in time. So it's going to be Boss marching down that bottom lane. This is 13 minutes. It's not the strongest boss in the world, but it's still going to be getting quite a bit of value. Meanwhile, we just have Falstad just kind of pushing up those lanes and making sure Abathur doesn't get the value that he's really intended to get. We do have Hollis taking a bit of damage here from those Chromie clones. Now, the one thing we have to note here, Chromie's at 97 stacks. So that's like, you know, 1.5 times, and just, I am taking half health from the double blast from Chromie. And they're going to go ahead and confirm the second keep of the game. It's going to be going over to Team Sinix, and they're going to be opening this up. That's going to be 2 catapults walking down this lane. They're going to go ahead and just let the boss push this out. Looks like Falstad will go ahead and rotate and just pick up the curse at this time. And the rest of the team, they're just going to make sure that these lanes don't get too pushed back. They're make sure that the pressure's there. I wouldn't be too surprised. They could go boss at this point. They do have the control. Brightwing does have Emerald Wind, so they technically can use that. There is Expulsion Zone, but they can set up a time trap here and kind of posture up for it. It looks like, okay, they don't really, they're just going for vision. They're playing safe at this point on this I was gonna say they're playing very safe, but meanwhile Brightwing is side soaking, trying to make sure they close that experience gap. They're gonna go ahead and get the phase shift in. They will see that there is a time trap in this bush, but the rest of the team has been postured around, so they do know not to really fight over this. They don't want to make the same mistake they did early in the game here. 3B trying to get a lot of the damage out, and Hollis being taken down to half health already during this. And we do have this is 2-2. This could be really, really beneficial for 2+2 here. And at the same time, though, the one thing I want to note is that little thing that popped up on the left. He also just finished his stacks for Seasoned Marksman. Actually, it looks like they're going to go ahead and give this over. Yeah, it looks like they're going to go ahead and just give this over. They'll go ahead and take the boss that's going to be pushing down the top lanes, so they try and use that to clear out, but at the same time, they're going to try and open up this bottom and get catapults in their favor as well. They go ahead and get out the gate right away. There will be the heartback from the majority of the members. Brightwing going to go ahead and face it in here. This is kind of a do or die situation for 2+2. We do not have an Abathur clone just yet. Pulling from Hollis. They're going to be getting a few of the members. There is a rain of shot going out from the Vala. The clone is out, and I do believe it was onto the Vala as well. So it's double Vala doing damage there. Currently a Treebeard, though, in that backline is doing so much damage, and this Heat Rush is starting to turn sour for... Oh boy. A little bit of miscommunication there, but this is starting to turn a little bit sour for 2+2 here. It looks like they will be able to get the counter kill onto the Brightwing. They will get the kill onto Zarya, and I said counter kill. They're just going to get the kill onto her. Meanwhile, though, Boss is chunking down top lane, and that is going to be the third keep of the game. So it's going to be catapults walking down each lane. Now, granted, this did buy them a little bit of time on the side of 2+2. Lanes are pushed back a little bit here. The catapults will be just kind of delayed out a little bit, but at the same time, that is Boss on core with a decent amount of health. The Vala will go ahead and chunk that down. We currently have Falstad flying in. They do have 20s. They do have 2 members down for the next about 20 seconds here, so they really need to play safe, and it looks like they really want to end here. Skygam trying to get a bunch of damage onto Venera. There's a huge stun, but it looks like they will get the kill onto him. Break it down was, I believe, used there. That is actually Falstad going to be flying to the Abathur, but it looks like Hollis will be dying here. The staggered deaths looks like GGs are already thrown out, and it looks like that is going to be game number 2 going over to Team Sinix. They will continue their undefeated season. Is it over? I believe they're announced next week. Either way, they're going to go ahead and that'll be the game going over to them. Team Sinix is going to be picking that up, winning 3 points and taking the series. GG, well played.